Hey, what up? It is your boy. I have been gone, but now I am back, so none of that matters. So let's talk about Furry YouTube. So every community here on YouTube has some sort of community expectations for the content within their niche, right? Commentary community, tea channels, gaming, makeup gurus, even the way we address things has some sort of expectation that is put on us, and one should only make waves if you intend to make waves. Over the last few weeks, a lot of conversation has been stated on the state of Furry YouTube, with several videos, a lot of back and forth on the topic, even one in which a creator addressed me specifically and asked me what I felt on the topic. All this conversation leads to a lot of content creators and their audience asking the same question: has furry content gotten stale? Viewing YouTube as a job can influence how you decipher your analytics, how hard you push yourself, and what influences the topics you cover. When you grow into a niche, this is what your audience comes to know you for, what the YouTube algorithm comes to boost you for. It's easier to emulate things that have worked than risk content you aren't known for flopping and put you at financial jeopardy or even losing subscribers. For a lot of furries, being on YouTube, you are doted on being the portrayal of our fandom, whether it's being continuously upbeat, always staying safe for kids, or only making certain content that you know people might like. I think it's fair to say that all of Furry YouTube can really be shoved in a few categories that creators kind of jump back and forth in. But the thing is, I don't doubt for a second that no matter what content you make, even as an artist, there is some content or video that you put aside because you thought it wouldn't do well. The sad reality is, at some point, not just YouTubers, but artists, fursuit makers, anybody working for themselves, will try to justify their own burnout. Because the thing is, when you make your own hours, you make your own content, so every time you take an extra liberty, it feels like a slap in the face to the opportunity you've been handed. The fact remains, there is nothing wrong with viewing YouTube as a job. Seeing content is nothing more than a paycheck that you have to get creative for from time to time. But the thing is, if you have any leverage to make content differently, yet you decide not to, what's stopping you if not money? Is it the fear of disappointing your audience? Is it complacency? Is it the idea that you don't want to alienate your audience, or making content for yourself might seem selfish and pointless? Branching off from that, I think parasocial relationships actually play a lot into this. Parasocial relationships are always talked about in what the audience comes to expect from creators, but it's rarely talked about in what it means for creators to expect from themselves. It becomes this fear of disappointing people, constantly apologizing for being late with uploads. I can't go a single day on Instagram without somebody posting on their story, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't upload today, my dog got ran over and I might not post for a bit, but I'm really sorry guys, I want you to know I'm still thinking of you." It's trying to justify the lack of productivity for things that you don't need to divulge to other people, but it's this compulsive need to prove to the audience that you care about them and that you're not taking them for granted. Beyond that, I think a lot of times YouTube has even distanced creators from their own characters and the person that they project online. How many furry content creators have you seen make their persona into a brand mascot sooner than a projection of themselves? That is literally one of the few times you can visually see someone distancing themselves from who they are on YouTube. And the thing is, this is a situation with no singular blame, because how else can an audience feel when cropped GIF has become the default and videos discussing 10 hottest Pokemon continue to outperform, leaving the audience with less of a sense of community and more of a sense of being pandered to? Yet why do we expect more from these creators, right? They owe us absolutely nothing, not even quality. At the end of the day, they don't even have to upload, yet they choose to do so. In fact, think of the YouTubers that are generally pushed in the limelight. These big names are in their own ways idolized. Their content is often sucked directly from them in an attempt to be just like them, but somehow better. And the thing is, the second they say any type of incorrect opinion, they are immediately pressured to retract it, because it is easier blaming the big ones sooner than asking yourself, who have I supported today? Who have I recommended to others? What smaller YouTuber am I pushing today? So is Furry YouTube getting boring? I want to highlight one small YouTuber called Fabo Meerkat. This is a furry who talks about positive things happening in the fandom in a segment called Digging Up Positivity. Whether it is how much a convention raises for charity or what furry video games are coming out soon, his content on its own is no way groundbreaking, but it takes a general topic and puts such a cute spin on it. And it opens up so many future avenues. How cute would it be for other furries to collaborate with Fabo by having small news segments, going to conventions with a giant plushy microphone? You instantly turn a boring con vlog into an on-site interview. Imagine if alongside the news, A cute newspaper version of his script with pictures would be an amazing Patreon tier if he ever was presented the opportunity to expand his channel. Little adverts for artists and articles of good and important news in the fandom. Fabo's videos come out once a month, and each month we get an adorably made video from a person who wants nothing more than to project positivity in the fandom. And if he misses a month, you know what? I'll be ready next month. Because when you find someone who is genuinely passionate about the content that they create, you really find yourself gravitating to them, regardless of the type of content that they make. If there is honestly anything that you can take from this video, right? If you're a content creator, I really do hope that you can take solace in the fact that these fears, they're in no way new, and everyone who makes content feels them in some regard, no matter what niche you fall into. But also, all of this isn't to say that I don't have my criticisms of furry YouTube content and those who consume it. I think overall, furry YouTube puts way too much weight on specific names to lead the way. I think videos like hot fursuit butts and con vlogs can really only go so far, but content from communities that are similar to ours, such as the art commentary community, offer dialogue despite it being fairly entertaining. I find meme reactions are the literal bare bones of content, despite the fact that they all get sizable viewership consistently. I think YouTubers are often penalized for inviting any kind of conversation about legitimate problems within the fandom because furries are consistently seen as representatives of the fandom. You're not allowed to be an individual. You have to project an image that the fandom can be okay with. And before I get any of those comments, no, this is not a commentary on the sexual side of the fandom or saying that that is in any way just derivative content that makes furry YouTube look bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. People can really feel the vibes that you put off. If you sound monotonous and drawn out and you're tired of your own content, that will come through. It's finding a good middle ground between content that you're passionate about but not burn yourself out trying to make everything a passion project. There are furries that have legitimately found success in talking about issues outside of the fandom, in just internet culture, but because they're not talking about top 10 fursuit makers, they're not considered furry YouTubers, and are excluded from this conversation despite the fact that their content is genuinely enjoyable. We need more people to express their interests beyond the fandom and still consider them furry YouTubers simply because they do not want to talk about X, Y, and Z furry issue. We need more people who are willing to address and dismantle issues without it being seen as exploiting situations or being a drama channel. But at the same time, we don't have enough people spreading goodness that the fandom can invite. We don't search out smaller creators. We don't push their names. We don't collaborate with one another. We don't interact with each other's content with differing opinions or an attempt to further their point with your own. We don't have enough people who have a passion for videos without inevitably relying on it as income. We don't boost each other up enough, but we have every authority to criticize a single person voicing their own subjective discontent to the issue because of the pedestal that they were put on and wish they weren't. In reality, I can't offer any concrete solutions to this because everyone's situation is different. How they view their platform and the content creation methods are different. People have lives and maybe they're content being unhappy with the content they make if they think it'll make others happy or guarantee a paycheck. But honestly, I want to give some questions to people who are in this kind of predicament. So how often do you want to post? Is weekly enough? Will higher frequency lessen your quality? And what quality are you aiming for? Is having an editor possible? When do you know it's time to take a break, and what does a break even mean for you? Do you know the difference between being tired and being burnt out? When was the last time you enjoyed your own content? Is YouTube just a job for you, or is it your passion? How much do subs matter to you? And finally, the most important question that you have to ask yourself. Do you want to be a furry YouTuber, or can you just be a YouTuber who's a furry? Maybe you have patrons you don't want to disappoint, or a fan base you want to give your all to. But at the end of the day, I really do hope people can be praised for taking risks and openly feeling passionate about the content they create. If you are an emerging YouTuber, do what you enjoy. Make content you'd want to see at the quality that you're content with. Take it easy, and remember, keep it simple.